Okay, take 2. All right, so because we've already learned our past tense, I just want to remind you in the book, page 33 is the list of irregular verbs, reference list. So you have all those. The past participle is just like the past tense of the verb. What do you do when you want to make a verb past tense for a regular verb? What do you add to the end of the verb?
ED.
ED, yes, you add ED. So just like that makes it the past tense of that verb. Past participle is the form of a verb that's used with present perfect tense. Okay? So you have have plus past participle, which will be the verb in past tense, either as a regular verb, added ED, or irregular, like had. Okay, so these are both regular, and this is an irregular. So, yeah, so more examples of regular. Let's say our word is study. How would I make study into study? How would I make study into a past participle with present perfect? I have
Studied.
Studied, yes, because this is a regular verb. So an irregular verb, let's try eat. I have, do you remember the irregular?
Eaten.
Yes, eaten. I have eaten. Okay, so that's how you do the form of the present perfect. To have plus the past participle. So let's practice with just a few sentences. Okay, so let's pretend that you are inviting me to dinner. Okay? Thus, I ate already. So, I'm not hungry. The regular verb. So how would I make this present perfect?
I have eaten.
Good. All right, next one. Will you go to the basketball game with me tonight? Yes, I can. Because I blank blank for my test. What do you do for a test?
You study.
You study. Okay, good. So how would you make present perfect for
Be I have studied.
I have studied? Good. Exactly. Okay. All right. Next thing, does this make sense? Do you have any questions?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So let's learn some common phrases with the past participle, with the present perfect tense. Common phrases. And these are phrases that we use in everyday conversation. So if you these would be acceptable for just memorizing the phrase and adding the information that you want to know. These are some set phrases. The question is, have you ever? That's a common phrase. Have you ever, and then past participle, and then whatever information you wanted plus the information. Whatever information you want to know. So I can ask you, have you ever walked on the moon? Past participle, walked, and I want to know about the moon. Have you ever walked on the moon? And so the answer would be either yes, I have. Short form, you could answer yes, I have. No, I have not. All right, those are the short forms. Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Have not. Or you could could make long forms and use the same information. Yes, I have walked on the moon. No, I have not walked on the moon. Okay? So, Heather, have you ever walked on the moon?
No, I have not walked on the moon.
Okay. Me too. I've never walked on the moon. Alright. The next common phrase that we use, how long have you? Okay, past participle plus information. How long have you lived in Murray? How long have you studied English? Okay, so I have my past participle and then I add my information there. Okay, and then the way that you can answer that, you could do a short form with just the information. How long have you lived in Murray? 9 years. Or you can say, give all the information again. I have lived in Murray for 9 years. Okay? So, the last thing that I want to teach you about the present perfect tense is that because we are using the verb to have in this form, in informal speech, because native English speakers like to make things shorter, right? We always like to reduce our speech. We have contractions a lot. So, don't forget contractions with the present perfect tense. You can do those. So, I have studied. Our contractions are, here, I'll put them over here. I, we, you, they have. To make it shorter, what we do is we take out the H and the A and we add apostrophe. So apostrophe VE. So instead of I have, it's I've, we've, you've, they've. You've probably seen these before. So you can use that with this form, this grammar form. He has becomes he's. She has becomes she's. It has become its. Okay? So I have studied would become what?
I've studied.
Yes, I've studied. Okay? He has learned would be?
He's learned.
He's learned, yes. Okay, good. How are we doing on time?
Yeah, about a minute and a half.
Minute and a half, okay. Okay, so at this point, what I would do, that would be the end of my grammar lesson. What I would do at this point would be to do a short book activity that goes over basic, basic form of present perfect tense, just to see that they've understood and they've comprehended the material. It would be kind of like a fill-in activity, just to make sure, just to check the comprehension. I will spare you that. And then after that, I would do some communicative activities to help solidify the information. So I'm just going to explain to you what I would do. As an example, it'd be hard to do it with one person to do these activities. But the first one is present perfect bingo. So I have this bingo board here, and all the squares are filled in with infinitive verb forms like to be, to buy, to listen, to walk. And then I have these bingo tiles. And what I would do is I would give each student one of these, and then also each student would get several of these, and they would take turns, each student would take turns making a sentence with their infinitive verb tile. So, for example, this one says to listen, so maybe a student would say, I have listened to many songs, or something like that. And then all the students would look at their bingo tile here, or bingo table, and they would check off to listen. And then, of course, whoever makes bingo first wins. So that way they have a way to practice forming the sentences in in the present perfect form. And then another activity that I could do to extend the lesson and help with some listening skills is a song. And so I have the lyrics to We Are the Champions by Queen, because there's several present perfect examples in that song, and it's pretty, the lyrics are pretty clear. So the first thing I would do would be to go over the idioms in the song. We would talk about what does it mean to pay your dues, what does it mean to do your time, what's a bed of roses, different things like that in the song. And then after we talked about the song, we would listen to the song, and I'd have a close activity where they could listen for the present perfect tense and fill in those examples. And we might listen to the song 1 or 2 times. And we might talk about the meaning of the song afterwards. So that would be a way to extend the lesson. And that is it. Thank you very much.